Hi everyone. Here I'm Shu again, and again for those of you who do not know me, I am the founder of Grace and Hope Consulting, and I am a board certified Christian counselor and a certified cognitive behavioral group therapist. Today I wanted to talk about behaviors, and I'm not going to dig into details about what to do for each particular behavior that might be, your child or someone you're caring for, a family member might be doing or doing at the moment. But I wanted just to share a different perspective, maybe like how we see behavior, and which will hopefully help you shape your reaction to it and help you find better strategies and healthy strategies to deal with negative behaviors, in your home, in society, in community, wherever they happen. So, for those of you who watched my previous video, I had shared that before I started my own business, I was addicted to work. Right, I was a workaholic, and which maybe was not, easily perceived by others. People maybe didn't pick up on it, but I knew that. And why am I sharing this again now? Because we're talking about behaviors, right? So I did things because I had a need. And a lot of people, when they engage in behaviors that maybe are not necessarily socially accepted per se, your kids having a tantrum, or for me, I'm trying to find time to always work. Because we often, for my story, back to again my story, I had a need. I had needs that were not being met. I had voids in my heart, and what I needed to find something to fill that void, right? So work became that something. Work became my escape, my place of respite, pretty much, So I had a reason to engage in that behavior. The behavior for me was working a lot, right? And thankfully, thank God that, I was able to seek help for myself and be on the path to healing, that I could find healthier ways to cope with my needs, right, and take care of my needs, so that I get on the healthy path, and that has led me to do what I do now. It's, I guess this is part of my own recovery on many ways, in many ways, but now I get to work, and yes, I have a passion for helping people. That hasn't changed, but I guess to pick and choose when I work, right? I might be working 5 days a week, but maybe each day I'm only working 2 hours, or an even an hour, or maybe one day I'm working 5-6 hours, right? So now I work when I want to, because thank God I have that privilege to do that. But now it's not just working all the time because I'm trying to run away from something. I'm trying to fill the void that I have. Now I work when it works for me, if that makes sense. So back to behavior. So if recently, in another story, just yesterday actually, I was getting ready to head out the door. My kids were invited to a birthday party, and then my one of my sons, I will not identify which one, because I don't want him to be feel like I'm broadcasting his behavior out there. But I want to share the story with a lesson in mind. Again, change your perspective of how you see behavior, negative behavior. People don't do things because they want to do things. Sometimes they do things because there's an unmet need. Back to my own example, and now I'm sharing from a parenting perspective. So trying to get ready out the door, and my child, I went to the bathroom to use the bathroom so I can get everybody to leave. I get out the bathroom, and I see my child coming down the steps covered with paint. He had literally used paint, like finger paint, as his body lotion, right? So as a mom, I'm staring at him. I'm like, we have to get out the door, and at that moment I had a choice. I had a choice: one, to be upset, and maybe discipline, or two, I had a choice to be supportive. So when you see behaviors, what do you actually see? And I like to remind all of us, behavior are just the tip of the iceberg. There's always an underlying cause. There's always an underlying reason that people do what they do. So, and for me at that moment, thankfully, yes, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy that he did all that. So I'm like, oh my goodness, really, seriously? Then I grabbed him, took him to the bathroom, and started cleaning him. And that was the end of it. I cleaned them, then cleaned the place, but towards my child, yelling will not help. Because this is what I realized. If behavior is the tip of the iceberg, what's hiding underneath the iceberg? What was the underlying reason why he did that? So my child has sensory needs, and he also has a very sensitive skin. So he has prescription creams, and that we actually put on his skin. And with his sensory need, he does like them, to be massaged. Full body massage actually, relaxes him, and it releases some of the tension in his muscles, due to joint compression and all that. And that just really helps him feel relaxed. And so, and it's important to him. It's one thing, I'll do a video later about, how I use person-centered strategies in my own home. But that's one thing we do for him, and that's important. Well, what happened in the past week, this week, we only had one of the creams for him because the other one, between the childcare center and the home, we couldn't find it. So I'm not sure if we lost it at home or it got lost at the childcare center. But again, since the prescription, I couldn't just get a new prescription. You have to wait so many days so that the insurance can refill the prescription. So long story short, he did not have that one medication all week, right? The one that actually helped with his dermatitis and his eczema. But at the same time, that morning, even for the over cream that I had, I did not do his massage, neither the night before, because we're just so tired, and we actually fell asleep. Thankfully everybody went to bed, tired and relaxed, and they slept well. But in the morning, his skin was dry, his skin was itchy, and he just needed something on his skin. So what does he do? What does a young kid do? He found a solution. So yes, he had a need. His need was unmet. He found a solution. I mean, that's a skill. Maybe it was not the way that I wanted to happen because I had a big mess to clean up. But trying to see beyond the behavior, to actually see what's the need that needs to be met, and to actually see those skills. He was resourceful, for a little guy. So again, back to what could I have done differently so that this might not happen in the future. Yes, kids are going to be kids, and I know that tomorrow might be something else. Some of you are friends with me on Facebook. Sometimes I joke about some of the fun things that happen in my house. Hey, it's the fun of parenting, right? But I can maybe do one or two things in order for that not to happen again. If behaviors are only the tip of the iceberg, then I want to be treating the underlying reason of the behavior. So, and do more of a prevention, than a reaction. Of course, when you're in the moment, something happened, you want to take care of it right then and make sure it's taken care of. People, kids are clean, whatever you're dealing with is taken care of. But if we prevent, if we can be more engaged in prevention, it's actually better in the long run. So I could have done my child's massage that morning, and gave him his deep joint compression. I could have done all that, and maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't be going, putting pain all over his body, right? If that was the need, that need would have been met, right? So just something to think about. So for us parents out there, when your child is engaged in a behavior that you don't like, before you start yelling and losing your cool, just remember, behavior is only the tip of the iceberg, and behavior is communication. So when your child is doing something that you might not like, something that is not socially acceptable, he or she is trying to communicate something to you. So try to get the message, right? So for me, the message is like, Mom, please massage my body because my skin is dry and I'm just feeling tense. And I could have done that, done a better job at doing it. And if you, again, with like myself, if something happened, you realize, oh, I could have prevented this from happening, don't be too hard on yourself. We're all humans. We have moments where we don't get to do all the things that we know we should or could have done. So instead of beating yourself from it, just try to do better next time, right? It doesn't help anyone if you're going to sit there and beat yourself up for something that you could have done differently. You can sit there and feel remorseful, but what helps is actually getting up and taking action. So next time this will be different. I will do this differently. Okay. So remember, two things that I wanted to communicate in this video. Behavior is only the tip of the iceberg, and behavior is communication. Trying to meet the need in order to reduce the behavior. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.